from the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LGL Tour presents the Esports Tec Gauntlet Season 4, powered by Crucial, with our apparel partners being 656. We are now back once again with the Gauntlet. Sadly, only one game today, but it's completely fine. It's going to be your boy Aggressive on the hot seat today with Universe on his side, jumping straight into today's matchups. And honestly speaking, Universe, it's going to be an interesting one for sure, because Enigma Gaming going up against Exceeli Esports is a match that we have been expecting, and this is a match that you are really excited for. We know for a fact that Enigma are pretty much the tried and true tested roster. We know how good they can be, but from the side of Exceeli, they're like that up-and-coming roster from Bangladesh that can take the entire South Asian scene by storm. They're trying to get there, but they still haven't made the mark yet. And hopefully through the entirety of the Gauntlet, they're going to be able to grow as a team and as a roster to finally take that final steps that they do need for greatness.
Well, Exceeli is a team that has got a lot of youngsters. They've got a lot of young-blooded talent, people who will go ahead and maybe shine at some point. It's just going to take a little bit of time. Just like you said, they can take the scene by storm, but they just need a little bit more experience under their belt to try and make themselves, more competitive in the way that we all know them. Unfortunately, my cam today is being as competitive as possible, and let's try and. Well, okay, there we go. That's fixed. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be a little hazy throughout, unfortunately. Packet losses from internet is a little bit of a problem to deal with, but I'm going to keep coming and going. But Aggressive's going to be here with us. Let's go to the group standings, and let's have a look at that and see where the teams are, because that's clearly a better side than my face right now.
It's always is, Universe. And for now, what we are going to be witnessing is Enigma Gaming being in a pretty good spot of their own. They're just going to be waiting it out. They're just going to be chilling. And with the points that they do have, it's nothing really to write home about. It's the first initial win that they got, 2 points. Whoop-de-freaking do. For the other end, Exceeli, they're on the same point. They did go up against Salt Esports, if I do remember correctly, Universe. I think that you can verify that. They did go up against Salt. They got their win on a 2-1 scoreline, with Salt getting 1 point for themselves on that end.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was actually a 2-0. They didn't get a point. It was a complete 2-0, and it was Exceeli being able to take that one away. So taking down the second best team in the entirety of Pakistan is pretty much already the first initial step for greatness. The roster has been taking massive strides, and with the recent addition of SMX onto the lineup for playing through the Gauntlet, it feels as though the team has pretty much a second win. And Exceeli, they could just be the one to head on down over into playoffs. Maybe not win it all, but playoffs could be on the cards for them.
Yeah, playoffs could be on the cards for them. I would expect them to finish where they are currently right now on the 4th spot, but that is something that is going to be a little bit difficult for them, given that right now, the likes of God Particles have already gone ahead, and I would say they're already, halfway there towards qualification towards the playoffs, because having played 3, won all 3, getting 6 points on the board, that is the form that they would want to be in to try and get themselves across the line for the playoffs. But Exceeli, they need to try and replicate some of that. If not replicate completely what God Particles have put up, at least find one map against Enigma, because this is a test of their best. This is the test that they're going to have to pass with at least passing marks, if not flying colors, just because of the fact that Enigma on the opponent is no easy task to be handled. Just because of the fact that we saw them yesterday, and they got a 13-0 win, by the way, which is, well, we all know how improbable that is in the TEC Gauntlet, or in any tournament for that matter. Getting a 13-0 victory for any team is very difficult. But yeah, it is going to be, interesting to see. Let's go to the MVP standings, though, Aggressive, and let's talk about the players that we're going to be seeing over there. Because I would like to believe that Sami was here. Was he here? I think
Yeah, he
somebody
was
from
here on the
Exceli.
number 1 spot. He was in the
Yeah.
number 1 spot. Instantly dethroned, though, because look at Paradox and Rawfuel. Like, Paradox is supposed to be here. If he's not here, you know something's wrong.
It's not Gauntlet if it's not Paradox. Paradox and Rawfuel have got this competition amongst themselves, but the the most staggering thing is Rawfuel's ACS, which, by the way, 384. That is, damn, 384 ACS is absolutely crazy. But yeah, let's have a look at what we have from both of these teams. Aggressive, I want you to introduce the first team coming up. We do have
We
the
have Enigma.
introduction. Yep.
Let's head on down over to the team intro for Enigma and see exactly what the unknown holds for us. Because in a way, this team, they're named the unknown, but are they really unknown? Oh, hell no. This team are pretty much on center front. They always are going to be there. Like, there's a reason why we always say that this team can perform to the best of their own abilities when they have pretty much ample control over the entire map. They have players like RVK, Antidote to just be the anchors of the entire team, clutch masters like Rexy, and then raw firepower in the likes of Exceli, Hika, and Rawfuel. When these 3 players are pretty much facilitated to run over a site, you know for a fact that you as the supports, you don't have to do anything. You can just sit back, relax, pretty much put your legs up on the table and just lean back and be like, boys, go do your thing. I'm just going to be chilling here. I'm just going to be waiting. And that's exactly how Enigma have turned out as a team. Originally, when we looked at Enigma, what did we expect? A lot of strategy, a lot of different tactics that will set them apart from everyone else. But now the team is still pretty much holding that identity for themselves, but in the likes of a lot more over onto raw execution strategies, where they're going to be beautiful on their trade game. Their strategies facilitate the fact that they have very aggressive duelists and allow them to frag out of their mind. There's not a single situation where Rawfuel's going to jump in without someone being able to go and get a refrag of him. And that's what I love to see. Enigma previously had that rough time where they couldn't really play together as a squad, and they would have had a lot of trouble trying to get it all done. But now that they finally have a way to facilitate Rawfuel and have someone just as aggressive as him, this all gonna work out. And speaking of Rawfuel, we gotta head on down over towards the player spotlight for the side of Enigma, and it's gonna be none other than our main man, Rawfuel. 384 ACS. This guy's been tearing up through the entirety of Season 4, and he's already been on center stage with Shebang.
Yeah, 44 kills, 20 deaths, 6 assists, and 384 ACs, just like you said. It is Rawfuel at his best, and he's going to be continuing that form because Enigma have been on the forefront right now. They are constantly pushing their limits. They're constantly pushing the opponents back. They're giving a lot of pressure. They're being aggressive. They're not afraid of fights. And this is a team that, is a little bit aggressive. I'm talking about Exceeli here. Exceeli themselves are a little controlled, aggressive team. They like sending Sami out. They like sending SMX to support Sami. Zolo himself also is a player that tries to keep on fragging all the time. He's a clutch god himself. And Rawfuel needs to take care of all of them right now. And whether or not he's going to do it is something that we're going to find out in just a couple of minutes. As on the opponent side, we have Exceeli Esports. And this is a team that from Bangladesh is doing pretty great, and hopefully they're going to be able to continue with the addition of SMX as well. This team should have a little bit more time to adjust. I should believe that. I think they're going to need a little bit more time to get into the zone where they should be, and eventually find their way into a competition where they think that they can give the tough fight to the upper dogs, to the huge names in the competition. They can beat Enigma, they can beat VLTGE, whatever it is, but just what they need right now is a little bit of time and experience.
I think that the Gauntlet is the best place for it all. You have 7 games to play as a roster, 7 best of 3s, mind you. And whichever team is able to last the test of time is going to be the team who are going to come out on top and the team who can grow the most out of everyone else. SMX, though, I believe that you can say he's been fitting into the roster pretty well. When we consider all of that, we also need to consider the player that's been shining the brightest the most from the side of Exceeli. Let's head on down over onto their player spotlight, just as Universe's spotlight is going to be shining on him. It's going to be none other than Sami on center stage. Like, I'm pretty sure that no one else deserves to be here other than our main man, Sami. Because not only has he been taking the entire Bangladesh scene by storm, but also he's pretty much considered a prodigy when we consider the entire South Asian scene in general.
Yeah, I think Sami has done a great job of establishing himself. When he was playing previously, he in other teams he had different roles that he had to occupy. But him on the jet is something that's a little bit more his playstyle. Sami is a out and out fragger. He is a duelist of the best order. He is the one who loves playing with the speed limits, and Jet is, well, among the fastest agents, I would say, if not the fastest agent. We've got Neon in competition now, but because Neon is not here, the Jet is what Sami loves using. And I think he's going to give a good competition to Rawfuel today. I think that both of these players are going to be fit to get a fight against each other. The Jet diff is going to be very minimal as far as I would believe, unless one of them has a down day all of a sudden. But I don't believe that to be the case because Sami had a great game in the first series. And this time as well, he would be hoping to do it because both of these teams have got a first good win, and now one of them is going to be taking the L. And who that is going to be is probably going to be dependent on the performances of Sami and Rawfuel itself.
You have to see exactly how both of these teams are going to be playing it off against one another. But at the same time, what else we need to consider? We need to consider the maps, and I do believe that Exceeli, unless they get a proper map for themselves, yeah, it's going to be a rough one against Enigma. So let's jump straight into the map video screen. Let's see exactly where they're going to be taking us. Because in my eyes, Universe, I do believe that unless you have that strong foothold and you come out of the gates running, if you fall right off the start, it's gonna be a rough one for you. And I think that Ascent is not the best pickup for them. I don't know. In my eyes, whenever I see Ascent, it's Enigma. This is their best map.
Yeah, this is.
Isn't this the map where they got a 30? No.
Yep, Ascent is where they. No, wait, was it? No, it was.
Yeah,
Haven.
it was Ascent with no.
This was. It was Haven, I believe. Yeah, it was Haven. It was Haven against Team Arrow. Team Arrow went for Haven. But yeah, Ascent is just as good for this team, I believe. I think that on Ascent, Enigma are pretty great. They have. I don't see them having any weak maps as such as of now. But if they were, I mean, we've not seen them on Breeze or on Fracture, but I think Ascent and Bind are right up Enigma's alley. And I don't know why Exceli did not go for straight Bind ban, because Enigma will tear through you on Bind. That's how good they are.
Yeah, Bind is possibly their best map, primarily because not only are they able to play aggressive, they're also able to play defensively with the Xenon plays that they already do have. That's one of the biggest things that will always be present. Enigma, they're just a team that have so much utility going for them that it's hard to justify any form of strategy that Exceeli can come up with that can counteract them. It's so difficult in general to give the team credits where credit is due, but I think that with the map of Ascent being on the cards right of the get-go, I know personally how good Exceeli can play on Ascent, but that's the thing here. Ascent is one of their strongest maps. So if they lose here on map number 1, I think we're going to be looking at a fast 2-0, regardless of whatever situation comes in.
Yeah. Ascent is going to be a really difficult map for Exceeli, and they are going to be having to try
What's their
and
best
work.
chance?
Yeah, it is their best chance because if they want to win this, it's probably going to go to a map number 3 if they do win map number 1, because Bind is definitely something that Exceeli are going to have a lot of problems on, especially with the way that Exceli and Rawfuel play on that map. They're going to be right up in your face. They're not going to care about whether or not you have defenses set up, whether you have any sort of utility set up. They will be in your face. They will take those fights, and they are not afraid, and they will always be supported. And not to forget, with RVK's lurking around, in him being the Viper, and of course to not forget Rexy with his darts, and him supporting the duelists to make them get into the sites. It is going to be a little bit of a problem for Exceeli to handle Enigma on Bind, and that's exactly why they need to concentrate and put in all of their forces on the map of Ascent, because, like you said, Aggressive, this is probably their best chance of at least pulling out 1 point, if not 2.
They should be able to bring it around and have a pretty massive change in general. But at the same time, Universe, I do believe with the addition that they do have of SMX, they have that extra little bit of experience. We already know how strong SMX is as a player. He can play the Sova beautifully. He knows how to facilitate a lot of the pushes, and the fact that he's been settling in so well in the roster gives them a little bit of hope, I would say, for the map of Ascend, making it a little bit more spicy as well. Plus, with the Ares getting buffed out, I think that SMX, he's gonna have a lot of fun with that on this map as well.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. Hopefully, there is. I mean, after the Ares has been buffed, you don't really need to go for the Odin anymore. Economy saved a lot by purchasing the Ares, and if you want to play towards that B main side, especially where you've got that, wall bang action going on, it is going to be something that I think is going to be put into use even in the anti-eco rounds or the semi-buy rounds, because the Ares is cheaper than the Spectre. It has multiple wallbang positions that you can exploit this weapon to its best. Its fire rate is brilliant. Its damage is also just as good. And the way you can control it now with ADS or not is amazing. So we have climbed into a new meta of Ares. It is the Ares meta right now. We are in the Ares era until it's going to be nerfed at some point, or if it's not, or some other weapon gets a buff. You never know. But so far, I think the Ares is going to make a huge, impact on this map of Ascent than it is on Bind.
Yeah, the map of Ascend is pretty much where a lot of the weapon changes really do affect a lot of the interactions, because in general this map, it's pretty balanced. I wouldn't say this map has any form of balancing problems other than towards A main, where the attack strats are just too one-dimensional. Honestly speaking, I've never seen any attack strategy on the A side be any different whatsoever. At least on B, you have multiple different forms of entry, with the jet maybe flying through from the top side of the scaffolding, not scaffolding, top side of the roof. That will allow you for easy side entry, with someone maybe popping a sage wall with an omen to get you into the side. There's a lot of cheeky plays that you can do on B, but on A, it's just either you go in for a bum rush on through from A main, or you go for a split take from A short and over onto A. Nothing more can be done to change up those strategies, and the spicy plays that you could go in for are just so dangerous and so time consuming that you can only run it once, and after you run that strategy once, there's not really much more that you can do.
Yeah.
So Ascend is primarily focused around weapon balancing. If there is a certain weapon that gets changed, you know that the map of Ascend is going to get hit the hardest, just like Universe's camp here.
Whoa. Okay, that's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Oh my. I feel like I don't recognize myself anymore. That's just... Yeah, let's move to the agent selection. This is driving me insane. Let's just go straight in. You don't need to see my face anymore. Okay.
No
We've got Exceeli locked in, loaded, and ready up. We've got Enigma locked in, loaded, and ready up. We've got Antidote already locking in his Astra, as Exceli is going to go for that Sky, as we all know it. Pretty much going to be the same lineup across both sides. There's going to be no breach. Both these teams do not play with a breach on Ascent, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I would have hoped to see a breach. It would be really interesting. Imagine Exceli on a breach.
Like Exceli on a breach is gonna be a funny
Like
thing.
a bully. He's gonna be a bully.
He's already a bully. How much more of a bully do you want to make him?
I
Like
mean,
whenever he's on the server, you know for a fact that he's just gonna absolutely dumpster on everyone on the enemy team. He knows how to
yeah.
take a swing. He knows how to take a fight. He knows how to deal all the damage in the entire world. And Exceli, he's looking fly here, making sure that his hair doesn't get in the way. A complete bun of a hair. And look at RVK. That is so cute. Look at that monkey.
Yeah, it's there to, it's there to stare him in the eye when he, gets a
Gets the
whiff or
shot.
something. Yeah.
Yes.
He's
Be
just
like,
there to
"I'm looking at
stare him
you."
straight down in the eye. And of course, we've got YB as well. He is also going to be giving RVK some stares. Like, okay, that's a rare smile from YB. Haven't seen the last game where we saw YB in the previous series. The entire time, even though Enigma won 13-0, the man's just like, okay, all right. Next up, what have we got? But we do have Exceeli in their boot camp, a couple of their players at least. So, an interesting workout here for both of these teams. As the one thing that we do have to consider, though, Aggressive, is what do you think? Do you think we're gonna have Exceeli perform better than we expect them to on Ascent? Do you think that they can win this map out?
That's gonna be the hard part of it all. I do believe that Ascent in general is a map that awards you for having a lot of experience, unless you have an incredible amount of experience to maybe go in for different types of plays. Maybe you're switching out on multiple different engagements. If you are not that team to constantly evolve as the match is going on down through, it's gonna get a lot more difficult. It's gonna get a lot more problematic. Just like Rexy here, he's having problems with his own cam. Same as you, Universe. But that's the thing here. I do believe that the chances for Exceeli to win this, I would say currently are on a 60-40 scoreline with Enigma having the 60 on their side.
Mhm.
But it's a pretty good chance regardless. They can still make it work.
Yeah, I think that they need to be a little bit more trade potential wise. They need to move up and down a little. They need to try and work things out in a way that would suit best for them. And that only works if they have, a 2-man setup or a 3-man setup that tries to face off against the side of Enigma. Because they're always going to come in as a team. Enigma, no matter where they go, they're going to come in as a team. It's probably going to be only the side of Exceli, or, it's not even going to be Exceli at this point. It's just going to be only one person, Rawfuel, who is going to be, the one-man show. But he also is going to be supported at times. Most of the times, at least. There's going to be one lurker that's going to be RVK. He's going to lurk around every single where, and he's going to try and make things a little bit more disruptive for the side of Exceeli. But the way that Enigma play is dependent on team strategies and teamwork, and that's how they have got such a good squad up. That's how they've got such good chemistry. And Exceeli need to try and replicate that in their own way, and not having to give up themselves in a way that, a 1v1 comes up and they know that it's going to be difficult. Do not let that happen. Always fight as a team. Always fight in twos. Always fight with numbers, because the more you try to get those 1v1s, the more deeper of a grave you're going to dig for yourself.
You always have to remember that the game of Valorant is about trades. If you're not able to play your trades properly, then Valorant in general just becomes a lot more difficult of a game to try and even get a handle of. The more 1v1 engagement that you take, the more your ego starts to rise. And sometimes your ego starts overflowing, and there's no way you can stop that from happening. So to have a humble start right off the very get-go, it's gonna give you an edge, but maybe Sami, he's not hearing my words here. But I don't think he needs to, because he got his aim. Hey, Sami, it's okay. That has happened to me so many times that I'm not even gonna go around that.
Oh, Zolo. Okay,
He's having a fun game out here.
Oh, but Rawfuel's around the corner, and his headshots are deadly. Rawfuel! Okay, he starts off with an absolute banger. 3K to start off the game. Of course, he would love it.
Right
2 versus 1. Rexy still left in a situation where it's difficult for him. Even though Rawfuel's done his magic, there is SMX with a drone who is going to scout out this play of Enigma. He's just waiting. Exceeli. He spots the drone, does not get tagged by it, so that's a good thing. Now he needs to move in ahead. The turret will take him out a little bit. He's down to 64 HP now. And this is getting a little difficult. The more he waits, the more time goes by. And the harder it gets to defuse. A good recon. And that is a good distraction. And Fancy with a good headshot to take out a good round.
You gotta give it to SMX. He has his lineups. He's already ready. And he's gonna facilitate that lineup so beautifully with a peek from Fancy. Good coordination, good communication. But Rawfuel, man. Ooh. Those shots were absolutely disgusting. He had full control. And he's just gonna tap away smoothly. He doesn't miss a single beat. And he probably would have gotten away with it too. But at the end, he dashed into a wall. So there was no way to get out of that sticky situation in general. But he did his job. He did as much damage as he possibly could. It's one step closer to his Blade Storm though. And Universe, you know how important that Blade Storm is now more than ever. With the ultimate already getting changed from being 6 points over onto 7. But Anti, maybe he could be the game changer of this one. With his first initial Sheriff kill.
Well, Enigma are slowing down a little bit here. They're trying to keep things about. But Sami walking into the B side is going to find easy kill onto RVK. The Ares makes wonders happen. As Rawfuel on the backstab is pretty close. And he could find Sami off guard here, and he will. He's got a weapon to work with, and it's a big bad one. Dashes in. SMX is in big trouble here, and he's going to go down.
Oh,
they could stick the defuse right now. They don't need to do anything else. Just stick it and work your way. Enigma won the round. How did that just happen?
They were on different fronts entirely. That's gonna be a tough one for them. They were running around on the other side lines and they gave up the entirety of the B side. And I do believe that Enigma, they read into that situation. As soon as they found those first initial kills, they just snapped their fingers and were like, oh, wait a second. They're not inside of the side anymore. We can just push in together because if Sami is holding from Speedway and we got the kill on towards the side, there's no way that anyone's holding from either defender side at spawn or from market. They're probably going in for a full-on rotation. Good calls in the middle of the round from Enigma to just take full control and just hold it all down through. And Rawfuel, he's looking to do as much damage as he possibly can. But for that first initial, the damage is already being done. And it's Exceli!
Oh, man.
He's holding it. It seems as though both of the jets are body blocking. We can. It's like that, you know. It's like that situation where both of them are in agreement, being like, you body block your jet, I body block my jet.
Well, Exceli's gonna find an easy kill onto Fancy. Enigma have got everything under control, but they have lost 2 players here. That's gonna be a problem. Oh, Zolo could have spread down another one. The Rexy was in trouble. But it is gonna be a 2-1 as Enigma will find the lead for themselves. Okay, that second round aggressive was a little sketchy from the side of Exceeli because they didn't get the side, but they spread out so much in trying to kill Enigma's players that when the plant went down, there was just one player defending it, and that is the biggest issue because, like I said, team play. You stick together because that round could have been theirs, and right now we would be seeing 3-0 maybe, right?
The fact that there is so much room to work with, it's gonna be better, but way too quickly. That's gonna be a costly one if they're not careful. But for now, at least, they're looking quite good. Sami, he has a little bit more of a leeway to work with, pushing up slow and steady, but not just yet. But Zolo, somehow, he's always getting all of these kills. Exceli's gonna take a backseat, and Exceeli, slowly but surely, they're pushing their way up. His position has already been revealed. Zolo, you need to hit this shot. If you miss this, you're just dead. But still, the backup comes in immediate. SMX is gonna be able to get away with murder. Sami's gonna be able to shut down RBK. And it's all up to Rawfuel and Rexy. Rexy's gonna be good for the first initial, but no! Rexy, he's trying to go for a run and gun with an Ares?
Blocking sight.
Come on. That's not how it was meant to go.
Well, Exceeli somehow pull out another round, and this was a really good one for them, given that the Enigma side were a little distorted over here. They went left and right, they lost a little bit of ground, and the players of Exceeli swarmed them upside down. So good round and good competition being given so far. But we need to venture into this game a little bit longer to find out whether or not Exceeli can actually keep up with the side of Enigma. They will find this round though, unless there's another Thrifty that comes up out of nowhere. But it should be an Exceeli round and 3-2 in the favor of the Bangladeshis.
Should be able to go in for a decently good hold, but Scally, he's trying to feel out his own sidelines to see if he can get away with something. Fancy holding it down, throw on the back. Two players have already been spotted, and Rawfuel on this Blade Storm could just be a problem, but Fancy, he's gonna be able to shut down two. Positions have been revealed, and Shoestreak knows exactly where they are. Going in for a swing here, he can immediately just pop a couple of heads. He whips out on the shots. Rawfuel, no! He's gonna pay the ultimate price for it with his own life. He missed one shot, that's gonna be a costly one, but woohoo! Exceli, he's like, don't worry, buddy boy. I got you regardless. He does find a beautiful one-tap on towards the face of Zolo, shuts him down. But a 1 versus 3 with no armor whatsoever. He does have utility though, but I don't think even his cabbages can save him here.
Well, he has got one player right behind him, and he's gonna take care of him. And out go the cabbages.
Going in for it.
Well, one of them's towards spawn, and he's gonna find him, but SMX is a little bit better positioned than Exceli to make that fight his own. And he will find number 3 for his team. Enigma did drop a couple of weapons, 3 to be numbered. And that's a good thing, because economy is something that they're going to be constantly reinvesting in. And Enigma, well, for now, they are the ones in economical debt. Because they lose this, it's yet again another eco. And that's exactly what they need to avoid. Because Exceeli are good enough to buy in for another round. No matter that they've dropped a couple of weapons, they still have enough money to reinvest. And now it looks like there's going to be an aggressive push here towards the A main. Exceli with a flash. An SMX to try and scout out things over here. He will see the turret, so he knows that the Killjoy setup is going to be towards A. But he has no idea where these players are. Exceli though, he's seen the controller here, so they know that there's at least 2 players towards A main. That's information that they're going to use and try to push up as well. Okay, Exceli needs to be careful. Zolo on the other end is a cracked aimer himself, so not going to be an easy fight. As Rexy and Antidote are coupling up towards the mid and B side all by themselves. So this is a good read from Enigma, but they need to be careful. Rawfuel is going to be spotted out, is going to run away, but Sami's taken out Rexy towards middle, and this is a problem. AVK's gone down as well, and Enigma are stifling Exceli. He will find an unsuspecting Sami over there, but he will fall to the hands of Fancy. Numbers are dwindling for Enigma, but Antidote's trying to keep it in touch. 2 versus 3. No plant gone down yet, and they're running all the way across to the other side of the map.
Oh, this is bad. This is bad, Anti. This is your world.
30 seconds left.
And I'm pretty sure that the side of Exceeli, they're not going to be ready for any of this. Anti, he's in the prime spot. If he's able to just take down the spike planter, that's all that they're going to be able to need. It's going to be him going in for a swing instead of trying to go in for a reposition. That's going to cost him. I think it's over. There's no way, right? Rawfuel?
No, there's no way. Oh, that is a little unfortunate. Exceli, he got 1 kill towards that mid position, but if he had got 1 more, it would have been amazing, to be honest. It could have worked out for Enigma, and even Antidote, he was in prime position. I think if he had just played in sight, it would have been a different game altogether. He should have just played on the back of sight, man, because that's a couple of more seconds that's been chipped away, right? He can just dance around on the back of sight, play with them, and just wait and wait and wait until fuel comes to his aid. But unfortunately for Enigma, they're gonna have to give up another round, and that's gonna result in 2-5 in a 2-5 scoreline that they really don't want to be on the back of. But Fancy is gonna be asserting that.
Good shots from the side of Fancy. He does get the first initial engagement, but okay. His jiggles are gonna be able to reign in supreme. Rexy, he's not gonna be able to find it out, and Fancy's being an absolute rat here. He's pretty much jiggling around that corner, making sure he wastes a lot of time, as much as he possibly can. But Exceli just domes a person immediately, with Sami being able to answer back with his own calling.
You know,
with that, it's a 3 versus 4, and the site has been completely taken over.
No, Fancy. He's gonna walk out, gets an easy kill out of the back of Exceli, and it's all out of AVK, and his Sheriff He's got the Enigma here, which is gonna work wonders for 1 kill. And a second! Okay, RVK stepping back into his form, but not for too long. Fancy says no, sir. And that's gonna be number 5 for the side of Exceeli. There is one thing I do want to point out, though, Aggressive. And that in particular is the side of Exceeli, which they did in the previous match as well. Checking corners and trying to be a little clear of their close cuttings. You saw towards that A-shot position, this is the second or third time where there's a player who's gone unsuspectingly with his weapon out in the wrong direction or with his knife out. Sami did that, and now we saw SMX do that as well. They need to be careful about their corners, checking every single position that they can, because every time they give it up like that, it's going to be a problem. They're going to constantly lose players that they don't want to, and eventually that might just end up to a round loss. So they need to buckle up with their close corner checkings.
Yeah, it's just gonna get harder and harder for them to bring this one back for themselves, but still position is all primed. And Andy spots out Sami and just domes him immediately. That's gonna be the first initial kill, and Andy's looking for even more. He's holding it down right around the corner, and maybe this is gonna be working out for them. But Rawfuel, just look at him. He's trying to play as aggressive as he possibly can to take away the space, because previously, Exceeli, the rounds that they have won is purely because of the amount of real estate that they were able to gain control of, and due to Enigma just giving them a little bit too much respect to work with. The fact that they had this much allowed Exceeli to take control of the engagements, and we know for a fact that Enigma, they don't do as good as a team unless they're the ones in control. And Andy, he's looking to be the instigator of this fight here on towards A short.
One enemy remaining. Spike down
Well,
A.
Simultaneous double, man.
Indeed. Vexy knows that the players right here is held off for a bit. That Recon is gonna not let Shuvs even enter into the B site.
10 seconds.
As Exceli on the backstab is just gonna tap away, and that's gonna be number 3 for Enigma. Slowly but surely, they're gonna be coming back into this game, and there is no way that Exceeli are gonna be able to stop them. They do have a buy though. Zolo has a lot of money in the bank. He's a rich fellow right here. But for how long can Exceeli keep this up? Because one round given away to Enigma, you give away another, because they're building up not just in money, but also in confidence. And look at Rawfuel. Him with the operator is going to be a little bit of a menace to deal with. For now, it's not the case, because he is towards B. And Enigma have no clue that Exceeli have got all 5 of their players towards A.
It's just building up and up and up to become something even better. But for now, I do believe that RBK, he's gonna get stuck between a rock and hard place. There's no way you're gonna be able to survive that one. But the Sky Flash is gonna be able to give them a little bit of respite to work with. They have the control, they have the sidelines in the attacker side. A Kill Your Ultimate could be causing a little bit more of a problem than they do know of. Everyone's holding on down through from the back foot, but look at Sami's position. I don't think they're gonna clear him. Sami should be able to get away with murder here at the bare minimum of at least 1 free kill.
Well, they saw SMX up on top of high mid. He's gone to the 30 HP and he's gonna run away. And here's a lot of utility being poured out by Enigma to try and find the retake happening. Lexi, amazingly placed. Hunter's Fury. One's under heaven and they know this. Exceli wants to go for the fight, but the time's afoot here. They need to run in for this. Enigma have done probably enough. It's all onto SMX.
More than enough.
And with just a couple of milliseconds remaining, 108 to be exact, Enigma find number 4, and a bunch of ultimates being committed here to win that round. The one ultimate that they didn't have that they could have really used was the lockdown, but RVK was long gone before he could even be a part of that retake. But the way that Enigma held that on, yeah.
How do you get away with something like that? Look at the retake though. The retake potential was absolutely gorgeous. The way that the Trailblazers came out, as soon as the Sky Ultimate came in, it found out the first initial player, and Rexy was waiting for that information before he tried to go in for his own ult. He threw the ult in right behind the Sky Ultimate, so if they tried to break that ult, they would get slowed down because they were shooting, and because of that, it gave them such a massive advantage when they were taking that fight. It was incredible to watch how both of these teams are playing their utility around one another. The fact that this is how they're going in for these fights is just bringing in so much more. And Rawfuel, he's holding this angle down tight. And he's looking to see if he can get away with something more here. And he should be able to. Because they want this B main control. If they're able to sell this fake, it's going to be a beautiful one for them.
Well, it is going to be. Exceli has got information that this player 2 was a shot. And that grenade is not going to let Solo do anything more. But he will get away with a kill. Rawfuel takes down Fancy as RVK activates his defensive measures. Goes for that lockdown. And there's nothing that Exceeli can do about it. Sami will take out RVK though. Unnecessary fight from RVK. I did not realize why he wanted to go for that, but Solo is still being true to his name. He's being crazy and he's giving up a lot of information for his team to play on. Angelot will take out Sami though. Good positioning by him. Timing play that he's going to take care of. And there's Angelot clearing up the last player as well. 5 and 5, Enigma are back on track.
Yeah, Enigma, they're now back in control and they've read into all of the strategies that Exceli are putting up the board. And Exceli, once again, they're spreading themselves out a little bit too much. Their trade game is there, but the fact that they're losing out on members because of the lurk from the side of Fancy, it's pretty much costing them. They need to slow down on those lurks and allow Fancy to go in for pushes after a lot of noise is being made on towards another sideline. The fact that Fancy went in for a little bit too much of an early peek against an angle which he know was being held by at least 2 other players is causing them problems, and they need to bring everything back from that moment on. Too much of a one-dimensional approach is going to be the thing that costs you here, but RVK is getting tagged out a little bit as well. And Exceli, they're looking for an execution on towards this A side, but Exceli once again shuts down the lurk from Fancy. And I feel as though Exceli, they need a massive switch up here already.
This eco round, or semi-buy round of sorts with 2 80s is going to be a little vital for them, because if they can drop a couple of weapons from the side of Enigma, especially that operator that's in the hands of Rawfuel, it would prove to be a little vital in terms of them having to reinvest heavily. But Enigma are looking far too strong right now to give up anything or anything and everything right now. Oh, Rexy needs to be careful. SMX finds Rexy, so that's 1 weapon drop. Need to get more. Exceli's around the corner as well, and they know he's here. The blind should be going out any second now, and it will. It's not going to affect anybody, but Enigma are going to stabilize. No recon, no problem. They've got Exceli.
And Exceli, and they have the control. What else do you need in your life? You just gotta hold it down strong, and you just gotta hope for things to just fall into place. And it feels as though, just like domino pieces, everyone from Exceli just dropped in towards that A side into the waiting arms of Enigma. And anyways, it was an eco round for them, so it's not the end of the world, I would say. But now that they have the last and final round of this half, they need to win this. Otherwise, if Enigma are going to be on that 7 and 5 scoreline with them shifting over onto attack, which we know for a fact that their attacking side on Ascent is absolutely
RVK
deadly, it could be a problem. But RVK using a Phantom, yeah, I have not seen that in a pretty long time. He's much more of a Vandal player. He likes to go in for those tabs, but as soon as he crouched...
Okay then. One tap's going back and forth, but Rawfuel's gonna tap the body of Shoves and take him out with just 1 bullet. Fancy's turret is gonna go down as Antidote pushes up towards B, gives him a little bit of warning that I am gonna probably be on the backstab. Oh no, Rawfuel! And what? Enigma! That is not how you give up rounds.
I literally choked on the water that I'm drinking. Oh my god, that should not have happened. Those were
what is happening?
It's gonna be a symphony of whips.
No.
Well, this entire round has been a roller coaster. Initially, we started off with beautiful plays, and then there's the symphony of whips and symphony of shots, and then there's Antidote coming in down the line with SMX and him just having a little bit of fun out there.
Boy, oh boy, that was not supposed to go the way it did. Rawfuel could have finished that round up all by his lonesome, but Rexy, we'll just casually ignore what just happened in round number 12. Move on to 13 as a 6-6 scoreline. Probably the best case scenario for Exceeli, isn't it? Aggressive, given all things.
You have it all to work it down through, and that's what's giving them that slight advantage and that slight lead. Now it's all up to Enigma to bring their way down the line a little bit more. Enigma, what's the game plan here? How do you want to take this? Exceli, he does spot out the turret. Being able to break that is the first initial step. But Rawfuel, you are playing with fire. He's gonna try to go in for a peek and maybe go in for a swing. Not gonna be able to fan out much, but Exceeli, they're pretty much basking in all of the information being given away by Enigma. And the fact that they have so much, that should give them a slight edge, but that's not the case here. They're getting completely rolled over on towards the other side. And Exceeli, they're trying to rush in towards the sidelines, but still, they're gonna be able to find all of the kills because Fancy. Just look at him. Stuck in the side alone, and Enigma, they have full-on control. They spread themselves out too much for the defense. They had no contingency plan to stop any form of a fast rush. If they give up a sightline, it's over for the person holding inside of the site.
Yeah, it's kind of, you know, you literally cannot handle that all by yourself. And that's a problem that many teams usually end up facing against the likes of Enigma because of the way they have their strategy set into their pistol rounds like this. Especially with Rawfuel being the menace that he is. He's gonna go down to Sami. Sami has 3 more to take care of and a turret as well. And he's got players coming. Oh, okay, Rexy. Now this is another unfortunate death for him. He's had a couple of those already in this entire map. Hopefully they're not going to be able to do... He's going to be a little bit more complacent about the way that he gives away his life. A recon can be fired off in any angle, my friend.
It's a problematic situation in general. There's not really much that you can do about that, but it's completely fine and dandy. Reset yourself mentally and keep it all rolling. Exceeli, they did lose out on that last round, but it's okay, I would say. It is a 6-6 scoreline. Losing out on the pistol does bring you a little bit of an advantage, but it's that slight change. It's not like that massive advantage that you normally would gain if it was an 8-4 scoreline or a 7-5. So they're still in the running to bring in a little bit of a change and bring in a little bit more of an hurt. But
there is one thing though. Yes. Nobody from Enigma have actually bought in an Ares, which I'm actually kind of surprised about. They're all going for Spectres, even after it's got its nerf. Oh, Rawfuel!
He's feeling the nerf already.
Yeah. Rexy is going to take out one easy, and SMX is going to somehow find Rawfuel. I don't know how the hell that kill came in, but it did. And Exceli, he's going to work the Spectre just like it normally did. Fancy's going to find another kill, and Rexy has been just unfortunately dying time and time again. And I know he's feeling the heat of it.
But it's Rexy. I think it's used to it a little bit at this point. He can always reset himself. He can always be the clutch master for his team. And if he gets any form of information, it's gonna be more than enough. And Fancy, he gets stuck between a rock and a hard place. Players coming from B main, players coming from spawn, also from mid. Where do you turn? Where do you hide? Absolutely nowhere. It's 8-6, and the possibility of a 9-6 scoreline coming on the card as well if it all does go well for them, but not yet, because Sami, he's picked up an operator for himself, and this operator alone could just be the game changer for the entirety of Exceeli.
So now we've got Exceeli 2 rounds down, and they've got a 4-buy, and the opponents have not that great weaponry. The Ghost on 2 players and the 3 players on Spectres as they're playing this on a bonus, and a very, very slim bonus, I should say, because they've got absolutely nothing to fight with. But here they have taken down a player or 2 to a little bit lower health. Rawfuel getting up a little close. He's got the support of a Hound right there. There's a recon coming in, and Rexy and Rawfuel double up. SMX will find one, but he's left all alone to fend off 2 different angles and multiple players, which is definitely not going to work out in his favor for more than just 1 kill. Enigma have pulled out a round that I really did not expect them to. And with the plan going down now, this is already a save being called. You can see it.
Yeah, they need to go in for this save. There's no way they can run in over towards the side and just even take anything down. It's better to just hold on to their utility that they already do have, not have to buy that extra, but that's the thing here, Universe. Remember what I said, that Enigma on their attacking side just hold a lot more fruit in comparison to their defense, primarily because of the extra firepower this team now has. They're no longer a defense-based team. They're a lot more favored on the side of attack because that's control. They can take the fights. They can take every single sightline that they can for themselves. And as soon as they find that single little bit of weakness, they on top of that and make their opponents pay for making that mistake. But now that Exceli have gotten a chance to understand how Enigma are playing a lot of these rounds by just being on the receiving end of a lot of the damage that they're doing, they need to switch up their strategies. And I do believe that their mid control phase could use a little bit work and a little bit more pressure from A short. That A short control that they're giving up so early by not placing a smoke on towards tiles could be a massive problem. They need to push their way in and probably take that cycling away from Enigma, or just use their utility to fight it, at least discourage them from taking a very aggressive mid control.
Yeah.
And I think that Sami is doing exactly that, but with the Sheriff it could be a difficult one.
Well, we need to be careful here, Enigma. They've got a flash coming their way in just about a second. Rawfuel will take out one and an antidote. He's gonna take out Fancy before Shoes can support him. Stola's gonna be caught off guard here. One Spectre's all that's needed. 5 versus 2. Shoes, as much as he wants to play with that Vandal, he's only gonna be able to get one. He's looking for more, but it's a difficult situation because Sami has been taken out towards mid. And with that, it's a done and dusted round. Number 10 for the side of Enigma should be coming up in just about a second, as Shoes is going to eat a bullet straight to his head thanks to Rawfuel, and that's going to be Enigma taking control, causing damage, and asserting dominance.
They have the control that they needed to get every single sideline that they take a fight in. They're going to be the ones to survive, and they're going to be the ones to be on the driver's seat of it all. It's a 10-6 scoreline. 10-6 Universe. And if they lose here, if the side of Exceli are not able to turn things around, it could just be all but over for them. Well, this round they need to change it all. Their strategy.
If they don't win this, they're pretty
single
much done. Sami, he gets a headshot onto Rawfuel and he will finish that kill off as well.
A little bit too greedy there, Rawfuel.
Yeah. RVK will shut down that drone from going any further, but Exceli probably have done the damage. Losing out on Rawfuel is going to be a problem for the side of Enigma to get into the sites because they need him to try and dash in, to try and find the spaces that they require him to do. And now Exceli is trying to do... Oh, Exceli! He doesn't know that Sami's actually come close to him, and he's gonna be taken out, and that is the problem to running smokes.
Oh, nice.
Sami! Looking too good in this round particularly, and the one round that they needed is gonna be worked out by him. RVK is gonna be good for one, Rexy was good for another. But Exceli have a lot of members left on the line to make sure that they win this round through and throughout. 10-7, and Exceli are still not out of this. The one round that they needed to win, they have won, and now they can try and work on the rebuild.
It's just a perfect scenario for them to work with, honestly speaking. As soon as Sami got that first initial kill, as soon as they had that slight man advantage for their side, they knew what they really needed to do. Stack up together, go in for the buddy system, and just have those crossfires set up. Crossfires were good. And they have the aim to take these fights, that's the thing. All of the players from Exceli can go toe-to-toe when it comes down to the raw mechanical skill, and that's what's giving them the opportunity to keep the ball rolling onto their core. But Sami...
What? Wait, what?
Why?
Why was he just... Nobody was even looking to a shot. They didn't even expect it. This is exactly what I was talking about. Exceli not marking their corners. And here's AVK trying to get another corner cleared, but he's gonna eat a bullet straight to his forehead instead. A 4 versus 3 that Enigma are gonna be comfortably going to look at a winner as a win, because nobody from the side of Exceeli is even close by to the site right now. And time, that's the most of what they're gonna enjoy right now, Enigma, because not a single form of resistance has been done yet, and it looks like one player has already bowed out of this fight, and that is Zolo.
It's a tough one for them. Because currently, we can see that they're stuck between a rock and a hard place already here. Rexy's gonna be on front. Fancy from the sidelines is just gonna wait it down through going for a couple of exit frags. His position has already been revealed. They know exactly where he is. Fancy's not gonna be able to find that spray transfer though. Rawfuel instead instantly shuts him down with a food. And with that, 11 and 7 on the cards. Not the end of the world, I would say, for Exceeli, but still their buys look a little bit weak.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna have to try and work this into the next round, because as much as they would like to work with weapons saved, they're gonna have to reinvest massively into this round. Because the only thing that they can do is try and fight for that 11th round themselves. Overtime is something that usually you need to avoid. You need to try and fight it out until round number 11, and do not let your opponents get away with that match point, because that's where things get a lot more comfortable for them, because they know they're not going to lose at that point. Or at least they know that they will have a chance to take it to overtime, because number 12 has that comfort that you sit on. It's like a recliner made of gold, that you just have this, assurance about that no matter what. We're still in this game. We're not going to lose it, in the 13-11 scoreline.
It's breaking down piece by piece here, but what we do expect here on this 11 and 7 scoreline is maybe a switch up that should give Exceeli an edge. Primarily, what are the rounds that Exceeli are able to win? It was when they took a complete and utter shift in their gears to just take a little bit more initiative. And on the last round, they only lost it because Sami and Shivstreak both just looked away from a short. And that shouldn't have even happened. They're making mistakes here, and these rookie level mistakes is what's causing them problems. And YB, he's analyzing them quite hard. Just look at that death stare. He has a pen in his hand. He's writing it all down. He needs like Enigma. I know you're playing good, boys, but there are some mistakes that you really need to work on.
I love the view outside his window, though. It must be so nice to live in a place like that.
Hey,
Look at that.
Germany eventually in like 2 years, so you never really know.
I mean, I guess,
Yeah.
I
They
love
got great, man.
beautiful place. YB enjoying the view on the screen as well as outside his window. Well, so far the view that's being enjoyed on the screen, though, or on the server rather, is by Enigma, who are just one round away from at least securing a little bit of a breath of fresh air, which they will be glad for as soon as they take over this round. The one thing that they need is that first pick, which Rawfuel will be hungry for. There's a small little tech pause that has come in here, ladies and gentlemen, and that's exactly why the game has been paused. Unfortunately, internet issues, not just common for me and my camera, but across the entire world.
Yeah, it seems as though it's happening on my side as well here on this end. And it's a generalized problem for all of us in Bangladesh. I'm using the same ISP as all of the people on Exceeli because the person who is the owner of Exceeli also owns the internet company who provides the ISP for them. So I'm pretty much using the same thing. So I have the same ping as the players. So I can understand their frustrations. And, we need to fix out the problems. Or even I can't properly do anything here.
I mean, what can you do when you've got issues like this coming up? Nothing. You just have to hold it on, just keep moving on and do whatever you can and hope to God that your internet service providers feel like, oh, you know what, maybe we should give them back to the internet and let them play their esports events.
I mean, though, he's just on the relaxing mode. He's like,
what the hell are these guys talking about? Internet?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got no problems here.
oh my god, having internet problems. Oh,
I mean, I don't know what the internet in Germany looks like, but
internet in Germany is just super expensive, but
Is
it's
it?
quite stable. Yeah, internet in Germany is overpriced to absolute no degrees. For example, okay, I know internet German prices because, okay, I have a lot of German friends and all of them just complain about their internet. The internet is good. It's not bad, but the same connections that we get for maybe like what, 1,000, 2,000, they have to pay about $50 to $60 for, sometimes even 70.
damn. That's a lot. That's
Can you imagine
that's
70
so much.
euros? That's like insane amounts of money that they have to pay for their internet. And it's pretty much the same connection that we get at like what, 3,000, which is 1 Gbps in some cases. Like, it's a lot. Like, German internet is super expensive but really stable.
Well, if anybody's ever thinking about retiring in different countries, you have your man Aggressive right here. He's going to be a point of contact. He has internet sorted out in multiple countries, it looks like. Bangladesh, India, Germany. What else you got information about?
I do have
Go on.
information about it.
Where else is it stable but unnecessarily expensive?
I think in all European countries, that's also a massive problem. But why are we talking about ISPs when the game is here on our screen, honestly speaking?
I mean,
I don't want to talk about ISPs in general because, you know, when I talk about ISPs, I just get really depressed. Bangladeshi ISPs have always been the instigator for the most horrible kind of backlash. You guys talk about India a lot, but in Bangladesh, trust me, our ISPs get a lot of heat.
well, you know, everybody's got their own thing, and clearly sometimes the internet issues. It's not just. I think this is kind of the stuff that unites us, right? You know, everybody's like, you know, do you say, oh, we got this, we got that, oh, India versus Pakistan, India versus Bangladesh, Bangladesh versus Pakistan. But what in reality is, it's everybody against internet.
Yes.
It's everybody against bad internet. It's not India, Pakistan. It's not India, Bangladesh. It's India, Pakistan, Bangladesh versus bad internet. Come on. We're in 2022, man.
Yes, we gotta commit together and just absolutely bash on our ISPs as much as we possibly can. There's not really much more that we can do about it. And hey, I've been calling my ISP constantly. The routing issues, man. I don't know about you guys, but the routing issues here are just insanely bad. That's one of the prime reasons why I never can even play on mobile servers. Currently, my packet loss is spiking. I have 44 ping on my screen, but there's like 20% packet loss. People are just teleporting here on my side. So I'm pretty sure that the players, they're feeling the exact same thing. The routing problems are just insanely bad right now. There's not much that we can do here, ladies and gentlemen. We just have to wait it down through and, you know, wait for everything to get fixed out. But what we can talk about a little bit more is, let's jump back to the game a little bit. On this 11-7 scoreline, what else is present and what else can we switch everything out, and what can Exceeli do on a little bit more of a change basis? Because Exceeli, now that they're having such internet problems, I don't really believe they're going to be able to fight back here for long. Things might just start breaking apart for them.
Well, we're going to have to find out whether or not we're going to be continuing the game in just about a couple of seconds now, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, these issues are out of our hands to be resolved, so we are going to have to move on. And we are starting on with the game, ladies and gentlemen. In just a couple of seconds, we will be starting it off. So go on and get yourself some snacks while this is a downtime. But get back soon, because this match is going to begin in just a couple of seconds. They're trying different ways to try and get this sorted out from their own ends, but not for too long. We are going to be back, ladies and gentlemen, in just a short while. Unfortunately, the internet issues are swarming the players of Exceli. Don't go anywhere. The TC Gauntlet Season 4 is going to be back in just a couple of minutes. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to get back straight into the game. Small little issues have been sorted out, but they're going to be going ahead with this. We can't wait for too long, can we now? As Exceli are going to fight through their issues, and they're going to try and make this work for them. Solo is going to go up towards mid and finds an easy kill out of Rexy, which was... I don't know how the hell he got that, but he did. And Sami... Okay, Rawfuel will hit back though, and Rawfuel gets another RVK with the third, as Fancy...
Oh, yeah, that lag, I felt that.
You could see it, feel it, and relive it through multiple versions of when you've played our ranked, ladies and gentlemen. But so far, it is the end of Exceeli, and it looks like the match point is going to be inevitably coming up over here for the side of Enigma. The plant will go down 1 versus 3. Shoes does have an ultimate to work with, but is he going to be able to use it? Still on A heaven. He is gonna... Okay, this is a little too far away to use it, I believe, because there is an expiration distance for these cabbages or the ultimate. Exceli taking care of one. Exceli, okay. Choose.
How are these headshots? Hey, I'm not even gonna say how are these headshots hitting, because I've played on European servers on this exact ping. And honestly speaking, sometimes these headshots are a lot more easier to hit on higher ping than on lower ping. And possibly Shoes, he's gonna be able to get away with murder, but RBK instead toys with his feelings, pulls out his classic and just takes him out.
Match point.
Final nail on the coffin has been placed here. And now they just need to close the door properly and just bury them into the ground. 12 and 7. And I don't think that Exceeli have what it takes to bring this one back. Not with the connection problems that they're having.
Placing sentry.
Now that the match point has come up for Enigma, kind of looks like just a little distance away that this could be ending against them. Exceeli. There's a lot of utility and a lot of ultimates being committed here. That's an interesting ultimate though, towards that mid-region that the side of Exceeli have put in. They have lost 3 of their players, but they've got 2 still alive. And they've got a Guardian and an Ares to work this through. This could be the end right here, ladies and gentlemen. But Sami says no. He says he wants to fight. Gets another kill. That's a 2v2 right now. That Enigma need to win this. Need to win. Get themselves the first map victory on Ascent. Which, by the way, mind you, ladies and gentlemen, is an Exceli map pick. That's the ultimate coming out from SMX. He wants to find Rexy, but he's missing out on the opportunity to because of no information. SMX, oh boy, SMX tapping one head after the other, but it's just gonna be one. Rexy will take him down as he runs with the spike towards the A side. Sami's following him up, but the plant will go down inevitably. One versus one. Rexy against Sami. Rexy, who's had a rather decent game, but a couple of whiffs along the way. And Sami, who's down to 40 HP and one bullet away from death. Or actually 1.5 because he's on 41 HP.
Yep.
The 1 HP clutch could be in the cards, but the one thing that Rexy has though, to shot this without even having a look, is that shock dart.
I do believe he has a perfect lineup for it as well. He has absolutely nothing to worry about. He can just wait it down through. He can hold it on. Shock dart number 1. Shock dart number 2 is on the cards here. He can easily just hold this one down through. The positions are revealed and the shock dart's gonna be able to do dividends. Rexy shuts it down just like the hunter that he is. It's a 13-7 scoreline and a pretty sad loss in general for the side of Exceeli.
Yeah, it is a little unfortunate that they had to rescind it because of their internet issues. But Enigma will come out on top and they will be going further ahead into the series with one step towards victory. 1-0, they have picked up % and they are looking strong to go ahead and take bind as well. And so far, it's looked a pretty good game, irrespective of what we've seen the internet issues come up in the last couple of minutes, because throughout the starting of the game, Exceeli had a good control. They finished off the half 6-6, and they did have a good sense of how Enigma were playing and try to counter it on the attack. But on the defense, once we go into the match highlights, let's continue talking about that, because once they were on the defense, Exceeli, they kind of just lost control of the way that Enigma were playing, because Enigma on the attack had a total sense of their strategies, right? So when they were pushing in and they were trying to give Exceeli a tough time with their varied pushes, splitting across 2 different avenues, sending one player to lurk around like RVK, getting Rawfuel to get into the sites and find space and having him cause chaos while the rest of them push in like the likes of Exceli and Antidote. It was a complete Enigma domination on the attack, and it is such a scary team to face right now.
Yeah, but the thing is, Exceeli on their own attacking side was nothing to really scoff at. They got a lot of rounds on their own end, being able to take a 6-6 against a team like Enigma. When they're on their defense, mind you, it's a pretty tough beat in general, and because of it, they should be able to switch everything out and change everything back onto their own foot. I like the strong start from Exceeli, and I do believe that if there was not any form of a connection problem, they could have been able to shift it down over to a possible 12-10 scoreline, and then maybe there was a loss or even a possibility of a comeback as well. Anything could have been done there. The team, it's looking quite strong. They're looking quite powerful as well in the way that they're executing a lot of their strategies, but they really do need to work on the way that they're taking approaches here, because in multiple different fronts, as soon as Enigma started evolving at a rapid pace, Exceeli, they just started breaking apart. They had no clue how to turn some of these rounds around. But hey, if Enigma are gonna start making mistakes, Exceeli, they're gonna be happy to capitalize on top of all of it.
Yeah. Now, the only thing that the side of Exceeli can look forward to is trying to maybe pull out something on bind, which is going to be a very difficult task, that's for sure. But yet again, they just need to try their best, because these internet issues might be out of your hands, but how you can make the best use of your skills is on to you. It's kind of unfortunate. It's really unfortunate, to be honest, that they're having to go through this at this time, because at any other point of the day they would have been fine with it, but this happening right now, right in between, an important match against Enigma, well, that's what's resulted in this scoreline, 13-7. We've got Rawfuel on 20. Exceli, Rexy, Antidote, and RVK have chimed in as a team and helped Rawfuel get across the finish line as well. Multiple support regions that Rexy and Exceli were excelling in. They did a great job in helping each other and everybody else as well. Whereas on the other side of things, Sami, he did get 17 of his own. Zolo got 15, Fancy with 14, but SMX and Shuvs, well, they did not really have the best of games today.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one for them to try and bring it back from. But hey, we're gonna be heading on down over onto a short break. Hopefully, the teams they're gonna be able to fix out all the problems that they're having, so that we can give you the best high quality content here at the Gauntlet. But don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to check the links down below in the description. Scan that QR code to get yourself a can of Red Bull. And we're gonna be back with you real shortly with the LGL Tour presents the Esports Hub Gauntlet Season 4, powered by Crucial, with our apparel partners being 656. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
from the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LG Ultragear presents the Esports of Gauntlet Season 4, powered by Crucial. And our apparel partners are none other than 656. It's gonna be your boy Aggressive with a pretty zombie-looking universe on the sidelines. We're not gonna be showing his face here today. Normally, we never do want to show it, but we have to.
Yeah.
Moving on down the line over towards the Mapito screen once again. It was a 39 score line going in the favor of the side of Enigma and Exceeli. Sadly, they were having a plethora of internet connection problems, and there's absolutely nothing that you can do to try and fix that here.
Well, we are going to be going to the bind with a little bit of a advantage for Enigma, and it's not just one side. I think that is going to be believing that they can take this 2-0. I think it might just be anybody who's watching this, because Exceeli have unfortunately lost out on their home map, which I think was kind of a difficult one in terms of how they saw the second half come in. Even before the tech pause that we had, Aggressive, I think that the way that Exceeli were trying to hold on to their defensive lines was just not good enough. The way that Enigma were exploiting their attack was amazing. It was brilliant, and it was very difficult for the side of Exceeli to try and face off the firepower that was Exceeli, for what that was Exceli and Rawfuel. And because of which, currently they are sitting 1-0 down, and they're going to have to fight their way back to Icebox. But how I want to ask you, what are the odds of them trying to win this one out? Because Bind is a map where Enigma, well, they wear the crown, they hold the jewels, and pretty much this is their kingdom.
Yeah, they're just waiting it down through. There's not really much you can do here to try and bring this one back. Enigma, they're gonna be the ones to head on down over to the map of Bind, and with the possibility of a switch up coming on the cards anytime soon. This could be a complete and utter swap. Both of these teams, they are in a pretty good spot, I would say, but if Exceeli are not able to fix their internet problems, I do not believe they're going to be able to take out Enigma or even give them a fight here on the map of Bind. Because Bind requires you to be pretty predominant in your close quarters engagement, and even if when you have the ping advantage and the Ferrari peaks on your side, maybe, just maybe, it's not going to work.
Well, we are going to go into agent selection before anything else ensues in terms of their ISP problems, as everybody's just going to be locking straight in. There's going to be no messing around right here. RVK locked in the Viper, and with the Astra, Rawfuel with the Jet, Exceli is going to be taking in with that race play, as Rexy will be going in for that Sova, no doubt about that, unless he chooses to, I don't know, out of the blue, go for a breach or something, but that's not like Rexy. Whereas on the other side of things, we've got a Killjoy, a Sentinel, which is going to be a little bit useful, and a Sky as well, which again are the two differences between these two teams. Whereas the rest are going to remain the same. There's going to be a Jet, Sova, and Astra going to be played across both teams. But how important do you think that a double controller setup could be here? Because a single controller on bind sometimes does give way to a lot of outplays, doesn't it?
It could just work out for them here in multiple different fronts. They do have the advantage. They do have a little bit more of room to work with, at least as they're pushing everything down through. But that's the thing. A double initiator composition going up against a double controller setup. The thing is, the double controller setup just has a lot more potential in comparison to anything else. That's the thing here. When you consider what the double controller setup brings down here, tell me honestly, would you ever pick up a double duelist? Would you ever pick up a double initiator? Because if you run a double duelist comp with a double controller setup, then you have the aggression, you have the information. What don't you have when you run a double controller? You don't have that proper lurk watcher. You don't have that person who's gonna stand guard for your back lines. But when you consider how Enigma played, do they even need anyone to hold down through on their back end? Not really. And I do believe that's what's gonna give them the edge here in multiple different fronts.
Yeah, that is going to give them the edge. Speaking of edges, Exceeli need one to work with, and that's probably going to be them trying to execute as many double initiator executes as possible together, not split across, not going different ways, together. Both the Sova and the Sky are information-based players. They have one flash in the they have two flashes. They've even got recons. That's how they need to work this. And them on the attack is going to allow them to try and work this out better than they could on defense. And here we go. Sami getting up close and wanting to take the first fight towards Hookah is moving on the back of this informational play thanks to the Hound of Shoes Freak as Antidote is going to try and pull them in. Shock Darts raining in down from the opponents as Antidote eats a bullet straight to the head. Is not going to go down because he's safely into the tunnel. But he will eat a bullet thanks to Sami's good perception of position. Rawfuel and Rexy find two, but Sami's got three of his own, and he's not hurt one bit.
Well, Sami's connection has stabilized, and you can see that he is on a tear. He's going in for all of the damage that he possibly can give here. One more kill, that's all that he's gonna need. But still, it's just not gonna be enough, and it's now all up to RVK. The one-tap machine, the Sheriff God is what that we call him. He should be able to find out that final kill. He's not gonna be able to get it as cleanly as he possibly could have, and it's all just over for him. But Solo, he's having a rough time here. He's trying to go in for as many jiggles as he possibly can, jittering around a little bit, and those jitters just could give him an edge and could give him something more to work with.
Oh no! The timing's so awful. He turns around thinking that RVK is probably going to pop out from elbow because he didn't for quite a while. And because of that, RVK somehow finding the right timing is going to find the #1 round as well. Pistol goes in the favor of Enigma, but just barely, mind you. And now Exceli need to work their way back.
As long as he wins the race here. Take one round and then bring in many more. So 1-0, and at this point, either you swap everything out or maybe take a little bit more of a fast rush approach. They are going to be going in for that. It could just work out for them, but ooh, here comes the Ares, the gun that we've all been hoping for. Exceli! He nearly bit off a bit more than he could have chewed, but it's fine. Nothing to really worry about, but maybe Zolo.
Oh, did he just throw his weapon out? RVK, hello? What?
He
Wait,
ran through his own.
yeah, and he
Switch
just
fire?
switched his weapon at that point as... Okay, Enigma. Little
Spike planted.
up and down there.
Enemy kill.
Rawfuel will stabilize, finds one. SMX goes straight down to the ground as Rawfuel is looking for more, trying to spray down through the green box. Not gonna find anything, but Rexy will. He's got a weapon that is looking deadly. 9 HP, he's going down to Zolo, and now he's gone down to 0 as well. Another round for Enigma, but I don't
Very
think they want to
close
talk
one.
about this one, or they even want this one mentioned in their books, do they?
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna
Ace.
happen anytime soon. It's a
Your
tough
pets
one in
survive.
general. Because currently, it's not looking that good for them. They do have a couple of problems on their own side, but trying to make stuff work a little bit here. It's 2-0. And 3-0 could be right on the cards anytime soon because this double controller setup, it always will thrive on the side of defense. And the way that Enigma play it, somehow they're able to make it work even better on attack, but for now they're
Here.
in a much more favorable side in general. And in this scenario, let's just see how it works out for them.
Enemy mark.
Oh, coming up close. Oh, antidotes. His shoulder was seen as he's trying to move out. A little bit of a head angle that he probably doesn't want to give away. SMX already found Rawfuel,
What?
and Zolo's gonna get antidote. What is up with Enigma all of a sudden? They are giving away unnecessary frags, and it's all onto Rexy now. Goes through the smoke, finds a kill, gets straight back, and here's a trade coming in from Zolo. Finds two rather, and Exceli with the Phantom is looking to cause damage, but not more than one. The first one comes up for the side of Exceeli, and rightfully so as well.
You gotta give it towards the side of Exceeli to have so much resolve, even through all the problems that they're facing. 200 ping, absolutely no issue. They're still gonna take fights, they're still gonna take swings regardless of their situation, and they're gonna keep on playing and force Enigma to reconsider their chances. And I do believe that all of their members, they are gonna be going in for a little bit too much of a swing play. They
Checking
need
the
to slow
situation.
things down. They're taking fights a little bit too early, and that's what's really costing them on multiple different fronts. It's still a 2-1 scoreline, and it's not the end of the world. Both of these teams, they're gonna be taking out their cards proper. Rawfuel's gonna be good for one, and he's looking for one more. The Flash is gonna be able to slow him out of that corner, but Fancy, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's still gonna be the one to die out. He's still gonna be the one to live. It's gonna be Anti, just doming two people straight into the forehead. Exceli's gonna be able to take down
Last
one
player
more.
standing.
And with that, it is a 1 versus.
Oh!
Whoa. That was the laggiest one tap that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Well, there's a lot of things happening in this game. This is going to be one of a kind, and clearly, Exceeli know that just as good as anybody else. They've got another round on the board, 2-2 now. That's going to mean them getting at least a little bit pace to work with. They've got weaponry, they've got economy, just about a little bit on 3 of their players. That's what they're going to have to move ahead with. Exceeli. They need this round win to try and make something of Bind so that they can put Enigma on the back foot. But Exceli has been on a roll already since the beginning of this map. And Sami could be in big trouble here.
Just about to switch up. Exceli though is gonna be the one to hold. Exceli just casual taps the forehead. He's not missing a single shot. With Rexy from the sideline pulling out the Hunter's Fury, he's gonna be the one to instigate a Sova diff. But now, they're just gonna wait it down through.
Yeah, Zolo is the only one towards A as the rest of his teammates were trying to make strides towards B. And now Fancy, with a step and a half in his stride, is gonna try and fight for his life. But how long can he stay alive is the question, because he's got players of Enigma swarmed around him. Exceli is still inside Hookah, while Fancy is trying to hold on to the lines around him. Throws in that alarm bot down towards the Hookah entrance as Zolo is being scouted out by Rexy. He's gonna get cleared off of that, and he is actually gonna be not spotted here. This is good for Zolo, but
30
he is
seconds left.
needed right now to find one kill. Oh, Zolo, he might have done enough, but Antidote's aware of this, Antidote
Yeah,
knows
yeah.
what's up,
Remaining.
and Antidote's gonna shut him down. And Fancy's gonna go down to the bullets of Rexy. That's gonna be a third for Enigma.
It's a good fight, but it was just not enough. Enigma, they had the better manpower. They had they had more information in general, and that's all that they needed to turn this one around. Switching it out down through the last couple of kills. That's all that they needed to bring down the house. And with that, it is a 3-2 scoreline. Enigma, they are in control, and Rawfuel, he now has an operator in his hand. And for Exceeli, I don't know. At this point, they're trying to grasp at straws to try and fix everything out for themselves.
Sami, gonna get back. Does not want to give away any sort of information by being detected by the boom bot. That's Rawfuel. Oh, finds a good shot into Zolo, but this is an eco round, so I don't really expect Exceeli to do a lot of damage here. In general, find any sort of kills, maybe 1 or 2, but Antidote's holding down a good angle. Oh, he sees the grenade instead of looking at Hoka. And he might have lost his head right there. But look at Exceli. Exceli's coming in, and he's gonna get beaten up by Sami. Sami gets a knocked. Sami working his magic right now. And he is trying to make things easier for his team.
I've got your trail.
He might not have the blades anymore, but they've got weapons to work with. Antidote though, he's got a weapon of his own. Takes out 2. Will he get blinded because of the ultimate? Yep, the cabbage might
Cabbage
be
is
good for your
not good
health.
for you.
30 seconds left.
Not good for your eyes, clearly.
And at this point, how much more can he get away with? Sami, he's playing with fire here, jumps across, he's gonna be the one to live, but they're not looking behind him. It's gonna be Rawfuel with the first, Rawfuel with the second. Easy shots for him. Just systematically dismantles any form of a hold they could have had over on this B side.
Oh, was that important?
This works out for them. Enigma, they're now in full control.
Well, they are not going to be losing control. The first couple of rounds were a little up and down for them, but going to be okay. They're going to be absolutely fine going up into the 7th round of this half. Interesting works, though, from the side of Exceeli. They have gotten a couple of kills that they shouldn't be getting.
I do believe the network issues are finally stabilizing. It's stabilized from my side, and Exceeli, I think it's gonna be good for them too soon enough.
Well, let's hope so. That's what we would want. Right now, they've already lost a player. And look at what Exceli is. He alone is holding down the B side by just sticking in that one little corner right there outside of Hoka. And Exceeli have been slittled only to the one side, and that is A. And Rawfuel is gonna find kills!
Oh my
back
God.
to back! Sami can do his best, but no! He dashes into his own death! And it's all onto SMX, and Rawfuel wants the final one as well. He's hungry, and he's gonna gobble them all up as Rawfuel finds a 4K.
Good Rawfuel, man. This man's just running around with a big bad operator in his hand, and he's like, "This is my territory, fool. It never should have showed up here." And he's gonna go all Shrek mode and kick them all out. 5-2 on the scorecards, ladies and gentlemen. And with that, Enigma, they're now back in full control. Things are looking up for Exceeli a little bit more, though. Now that most of their problems have been fixed up, now that they're much more in better form, they've gotten a feeling of exactly how they need to play out this entire matchup. Things could be a lot more different, but it all really does depend on them being able to survive a couple of these rounds.
Oh my god. That was a really close call, and now SMX gets another no! Exceli misses it, but he still finds a kill!
Oh my god, what is happening?
That showstopper has always been a matter of discussion, whether or not it hits, whether or not it actually finds the pixels that it should be hitting, but goes past it and hits another. It's just always been a very, very confusing ultimate to be used. But it doesn't matter because RVK is gonna clean up here. He's gonna be the janitor. The cleanup duty should come into his hands as he will take out Fancy. And that's the last of Exceeli from that round. 6-2, and Enigma have a very convincing lead as of now.
It seems as though Enigma, they're just in better positions and they're in better spots. They know exactly what they need to do out for themselves. They do have the composition that gives them that tiny little bit of an edge, but
Up I go.
once again, it's just massive advantages all around. They have the control, they are going to be able to initiate fights no matter where they want to go. But for RVK, it's looking to be a little bit of an own fun engagement for him. He takes a swing there, and RVK instantly catches out Zolo off guard. One by one, they should be dropping like flies soon.
Well, this is getting a little too good for Exceeli, but oh no! Fancy!
Spike planted.
Your footwork was fancy, but unfortunately your internet isn't. But SMX! He stabilized his finds too! And he's put back Exceeli on the map, but RVK on the backstab is gonna throw SMX into a little bit of a difficult position. He still finds him though. Rexy has no idea where he is, but he will take him out as soon as he peeks. And that's another round for Enigma. SMX tried his level best to try and get this one a little bit more competitive than it is, but Enigma always have a trick up their sleeve, always have an ace up in the cards.
A fast one, man. Take an immediate swing and instantly shut everything down. That's all that they're gonna need to bring this one back. Rawfuel's gonna be able to get his trusty operator back once more in his hand, and Enigma, they have a pretty strong hold. And you have to say that RVK with this Viper's Wall, he's been taking the fights. Normally, whenever you play a Viper Wall like this, you need to be the one to take a little bit more of an aggressive peek and an aggressive sideline. You need to fight for showers. That's exactly what he's doing, and it should be able to pay massive dividends here for him as well.
Well, Sami's here with Solo this time. Oh, RVK actually eats a couple of bullets down to 70 HP. He's gone. He's got antidote to his support. And nobody right now has been spotted out.
Got your trail.
RVK gonna play his anti-flash game, but he is gonna be blinded. Waiting. He has his ultimate available. He could drop it down if need be. But he's trying to hold on to his own lines as much as possible. Stuck between a shock dart and a concuss is gonna go down, except he does get one kill onto Zolo though. Sami will trade back 4 versus 3. Fancy having lost his life towards shot, and Rawfuel taking out another one of his targets. Enigma are on the upper echelon right now, as Rawfuel is one after the other trying to gobble up his dinner right here in the form of the kills that Exceli is providing. Another round.
And another round, and another pretty
30
much
seconds left.
ink on towards the scorecard. 8-2. It's right around the corner here, Universe, and I don't think there's anything that Exceeli can do to try and prevent this. It's a 4 versus 2. Both of them are pretty much in impossible situations. Antidote's gonna be able to shut down one more for himself on tour from the side. And with that, I think the last couple of rounds coming in soon.
Well, this is a little saddening to see for the side of Exceeli. But it is something that's gonna have to be done and dealt with. We're gonna have to go through this.
I'm going up.
Now the side of Enigma are trying to push up towards B-Long. Nobody's there, but that is gonna be information
Get out of my way.
in huge numbers for them.
Want to find it?
Exceeli moving in towards a Sami to charge in over here. Wolf and RVK, but is not going to be able to connect the shots. And here's Sami throwing in his ultimate. SMX will take care of the backstab, but he's got another one to worry about. Rawfuel gets him. And just like that, Enigma found another round. And it was so chaotic that I have absolutely no idea how it just went down. So many perceptions that we just got to see, so many perspectives that we saw. But all of it was just filled with chaos.
I actually didn't see a single thing that happened here. My screen just
Yeah.
lagged for a solid 2 seconds, and I'm like, what just happened here? I had a massive spike when I came to my Bangalore, so I have no clue. We just know for a fact that Enigma, they're hitting headshots so well that even the servers can't handle them. And at this stage, Exceeli, they're on the back foot here. They're trying to fight as much as they possibly can to maybe switch up their strategies and to try and bring something in a little bit more different. And hopefully in this round they're gonna be able to do exactly that. And look at Fancy, an absolute madman. He's gonna try to get away with a lot more here. But Exceli, he's gonna be with the big fat judge. Being able to get down 2 players, pulls out the showstopper, and he's looking for that final kill. He's trying to jiggle around all over. He's trying to spot out one more player. SMX is gonna peek and instantly shuts down Exceli. Beautiful swing from the side of the sofa. Deals a massive amount of damage, but Rexy answers back with his calling.
Well, Zolo, he's gonna try and make this work on his own. He's got a 1v2 though, so that is still a doable situation. He gets away from the vision of Rexy, but he will be spotted and tagged. And that is them trying to settle this half into a 10-2 Enigma. The spike is in the hands of Zolo, and he wants to go towards A. He knows that Rexy is probably doubling up with Antidote, as he's picked up the operator himself. Okay, interesting choice, Rexy. Not seen him play that weapon before. As Antidote is gonna go down. And it's all a 1v1 now. 30 seconds left on the clock. More than enough time for him to go and plant on the A side. He still wanted Zolo, expecting Rexy to be around this corner. But he is gonna get a free plant nonetheless. And Rexy will now have to run.
Spike planted.
They're looking to see if they can get away with a little bit more here. There's a high possibility for them to win this one out. Highlights have been turned off for your own viewing experience, ladies and gentlemen. So we can see just the mini-map from our side and everything else to get played out here in the round itself. Slowly but surely, Rexy is making his way up. Should expect a player to play from showers because this is a showers plan. He's clearing out the entirety of the backup side. That's going to be more than enough time for him. But with the positions prime, knows exactly where they're going to be on the hold. And maybe take a swing. He's got to be able to win it out. Does he have enough time? I do believe he has more than enough. He has more than enough.
Just...
More than enough, trust me.
Oh, more than enough? That was 0.07 seconds.
It's Rexy, man. Come on, just give it to the man.
Switching sides.
Wow, that is so close.
He did the trigonometry, he did the geometry, he did the calculus, he did freaking every single law that is humanly possible.
Yeah, no, I don't know. No math here, sorry. Confused
No,
Yunga
all the
Bunga.
math.
Confused Yunga Bunga. Confused Yunga Bunga, all across the board. Calculus, differentiation, integration, addition, subtraction, multiplication. Yeah, no, none of that, man. It was 7 milliseconds and that's all it was. It was down to the wire. The only math I know is looking at time, okay? You say calculus and I'm gonna head out. I am a head out.
I gotta love the fact that Universe hates math so much, but for now at least. Let's just see. Exceeli are gonna be playing out on their piss round. They do have a little bit of control. They know what to expect, but Sami, he's gonna try to switch everything out. He's still gonna be able to get away with it. Sami?
What?
What?
Down B.
Well, the pistol rounds are just not meant for them, it seems.
Well, Antidote is gonna find one back though. That's the only one he's got, but he's gonna be chewed alive almost by that nano swarm. And here's RVK trying to keep up his end of the bargain. Will find SMX. So that's a 2v3 established, but Antidote is so far low. He's not gonna be able to win any fights right now. And Sami is looking absolutely monstrous right now.
Freaking crisp, clean with his taps. He's not missing a single beat here, but so is RVK. He's just gonna be good as he always is. He's still gonna try and go in for a hold. He just needs one more kill. He should be able to find this clutch for himself, but still he takes a swing, doesn't find the first initial shot, and Shoot Screen instead is gonna be the one to shut him down with a beautiful tap of his own. 10-3. And with that, Exceeli, they're looking to be in the best possible driver's seats that they could be in. They have the front row, but to take full control, they need one more round and then pretty much an entire momentum shift to go on down onto their side. Granted, Enigma, their composition is now a lot more weaker, but as soon as they have those guns in their hands, it's going to be a complete and utter switch up.
Sami gets across Exceli's vision, and he's just gonna tap away Exceli. As expected, Zolo's gonna get another one. RVK gonna be blinded off and gets away from here. But as he's running, he has a tail right behind him. Rexy might have found one, but he has to strive for more. This round is pretty much done and dusted unless RVK has something to say. Make that two! RVK and Rexy double up, and Rexy gets another what?
These
Rexy!
guys are absolutely insane on these eco rounds. Rexy with a Marshall, RVK with the Sheriff. What do these players not have at this point when it comes down to eco rounds? The best eco weapons in the entire game, a Sheriff and a Marshall. And they have masters of two already. It's insanity whenever I watch these two players. Rexy has gotten how many clutches with the Marshall already? In multiple different occasions, this one man single-handedly used this weapon versus Vandals and Phantoms, mind you, to bring them a severe advantage in multiple other rounds. And the fact that they're still doing the same, it's beautiful to watch.
RVK holding on to the back lines. Exceli's gonna find SMX as they make their first step towards the match point on Bind.
Satchel out.
He's gonna jump into the side. Rawfuel's being joined, but Rawfuel walks into Sami's crosshair, and that's gonna mean a definite death. Fancy trying to work his way towards the kill onto Rexy, but as Rexy, he's just as good with his footwork and gets away. RVK on the back lines is gonna let Fancy slip by, but not for too long. This man's gonna be alive here. 33 HP, one bullet, that's all that's needed, and Antidote's gonna give it straight to the forehead for him. And shoots, well,
Player standing.
he's gonna give away his life as the last player standing is Sami, fighting it all out for his team. He's got 15 kills, and he needs 18 to make this round work for his team. He's got 16, 2 more to go. Sami
All the
working
max.
his magic. He's tapping away. He's trying to be the tap man, the one-tap god, as we know from True Rippers. But he can be so much more right now. Rexy, though, his positioning so good, is gonna annoy Sami, and is gonna put up number 12 for his team, and it might just be all over here aggressive.
It's pretty much done and dusted there. It's looking quite bad for them. And on this 12-3 scoreline, I think it's already done. Sami,
Placing sentry.
he pretty much forced Universe to do maths. That's how good he has been playing. But for now, Enigma, their players just have a lot more fruit to bear. Fancy's not having the best of games. Yes, they are having internet issues, but the entirety of Exceeli, they're still able to switch everything out and be the best team that they possibly can. So I have to give props to them. This is their last run. Their last couple of buys. And Sami on this operator could just be the last bright shining ray of hope that they have left for themselves.
Well, RVK, oh my god, this guy is so good. He expected that push to come in, finds 2 kills on towards the A side, and that should be a little bit of an opening, but Rexy's taking out SMX, and Sami's left to wonder what the hell he can do.
Planted. Here.
He saw the gun battle of Rawfuel, dashes in, but he does not have the time for it, and Antidote takes out shoes to confirm a 13-3 victory on their home map of Bind. Enigma with a top-notch performance here, and Exceli, unfortunately, have lost their first game of Season 4.
It's done. Switching everything out. That's the final couple of plays that you really do need. It's a rough one and it's a tough one for them to swallow, but for now at least, Exceeli, they can pat themselves on the back and be like, we got 3 rounds, we forced the side of Enigma on a pretty tough road when it came down over onto our home map of Ascent, so in a way, it's all fine and dandy. Let's head on down over towards the match highlights, ladies and gentlemen, as Universe's face is gonna absolutely disappear, and I saw something really scary. Oh my god, that was sticker material. That was sticker material. I'm gonna be trying to save that one later from the stream, but for now at least, what we are going to be witnessing from Enigma is pretty much utter domination. It's just them being on another day in the office. They were having fun. They were fragging out of their minds. And Exceeli, on the other end, they tried their hardest to switch everything out. They tried their hardest to maybe bring something back, but with the plethora of problems that they had against a team of Enigma's caliber, unless you have every single goddamn thing lining up for you, and even then it's going to be difficult for you to bring this one back. So in a way, Exceeli, they have learned a lot, but at the same time, they didn't get the fairest of opportunities to showcase exactly what they're capable of.
Yeah, unfortunately, Exceeli could not live up to their expectations. And Enigma, well, they're going to steamroll through this match as well as they did in the previous one. Kind of similar scorelines, except that 3 extra rounds in this game compared to the last game of the last game of the last series. 13-6, 13-3. Beautiful performance by Enigma, but Exceeli unfortunately hindered by a couple of intangible problems that have come up due to their internet, is going to give them their first loss. Enigma now have gone probably right below God particles. Godlike, oh my God, forgive me. They've gone below, just below God particles in the group standings. But yeah, this is a good start for Enigma though. They have such good and dominating performances in across all 4 maps that they've played so far, Aggressive. And this is a little scary. Like I said, this could be just their season to win, right?
It just could be. Bringing it all back from that, though, it's just gonna get a lot more difficult for them to turn it all around. It's been a rough one for them, but again, it's Enigma. We already knew from day one, as soon as Enigma slotted onto Group B, that they're gonna sit there on the very top. No one's gonna be able to touch them. That is Enigma. But on the other side, what else can we expect? What else can be used to switch everything out here? The way that both of these teams are playing in multiple different fronts, the way that they have so much control, I am trying to figure out a situation where Enigma are going to be able to be in a better front for themselves at the very least. Because Enigma, they have showcased that they are pretty much the best team, easily. But they're still making a lot of mistakes. Sometimes, like, I'm going to throw it down to them just being overly confident in this matchup. It's going to work out. RBK, you can see from the scoreboard, leading the charge. But for Exceli, hopefully moving on down the line, they're just going to be that better squad that we know and love in multiple different occasions. For now, though, at least, we already see them being in charge. They are going to be taking the lead here strongly for their side. And as we can see, Enigma, they're on a 13-7 and a 13-3 universe. There's not really much more to talk about. Exceeli, just switch it all out. Make it all happen later on.
Yeah, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are pretty much done and dusted with the game for today. We had only one, and we are going to be going ahead and finishing off today's matchup. We're going to have more action coming in tomorrow, so don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. The TC Gauntlet never stops, and with the action that we're bringing to you, with the way that teams have been performing, it is only going to get better from this point on. This is the TC Gauntlet Season 4, powered by Crucial and the powered partner 656. Go ahead and check out the description below and find yourself some offers from our sponsors and get yourself some cool jerseys to sport yourself for your team that you support. And not to forget, if you don't want to get bad camera, tactics like me, you might want to just get an upgrade, right? So go ahead and do that while you do hit the like and the notification bell icon, along with the subscribe button as well. While Aggie, well, he enjoys a good laugh, and you do too, yeah. I hope, throughout the night. Good night, everybody. Happy gaming, and we'll see you all tomorrow in the next one.